distinguished colleagues, the lead debate on a bill for an act to establish the Federal Oil and Gas Hospital, Benikrukru, Delta State, to provide for comprehensive medical services for workers in the oil and gas industry, as well as communities affected by oil and gas explorations. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is my profound delight and honor to lead the debate on the general principles of the Federal Oil and Gas Hospital Establishment Bill 2025 SB 847. The bill was read for the first time on June 24, 2025. The bill seeks to, among other things, establish the Federal Oil and Gas Hospital to provide for comprehensive medical services for workers in the oil and gas industry, as well as communities affected by oil and gas operations and explorations. The overriding objectives of the bills are: 1, provide specialized medical services for workers involved in oil and gas operations and explorations in the country, as well as their host communities. 2, to ensure that workers in the oil and gas industry and their host communities have unhindered access to adequate and quality healthcare services and facilities. 3, reduce health risks associated with oil and gas operations and exploration by providing specialized medical services. 4, siting this hospital in this location will make healthcare and other emergency services accessible to the communities around crude oil installations, which was either not available all these years because of the peculiar terrain. 5, the siting of this hospital will to a large extent tame the agitations and restiveness in the Niger Delta. 6, provide a wide range of emergency care, occupational health services, and treatment for oil and gas related illness and injuries to help increasing productivity by reducing downtime in oil and gas industry. 7, develop sustainable sources of funding for the hospital without placing financial burden on the federal government. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it might interest you to know that workers in the oil and gas industry vis-a-vis the host communities are often exposed to all manners of hazards as a result of oil and gas exploration activities, leading to terminal illnesses and injuries that would require the operational expertise of specialized medical personnel, skilled in occupational health and environmental medicine to handle. Therefore, the establishment of this proposed hospital will not only be beneficial to the workers and the host communities, but would go a long way to addressing some of the agitations in the Niger Delta region. This will invariably improve exploration activities in the region for the socio-economic development of this country. It will interest you to know that the Delta South Neutral District has the highest offshore crude oil production in Delta State and second in the country. And more specifically, the location indicated for this project is in the very heart of offshore oil exploration in the Niger Delta. This project will benefit oil companies and communities in Delta State. Note also that this location is home to many crude oil exploration activities of Chevron, in Escavos, Shell, ExxonMobil, Total, Nigerian Ajib Oil Company, etc. It is imperative to note, Mr. President, and my dear colleagues, that the funding of this proposed hospital has been structured in a way and manner that it would not pose additional financial burden on the treasury of the federal government. This is in view of the fact that the proposed hospital will be funded by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board. For clarity, the NCDMB, as currently constituted, is not directly funded by the federal government. This board relies on revenue derived from 1% of every contract awarded to any operator, contractor, subcontractor, alliance partners, or any other entity involved in any project in the oil and gas industry. As such, this hospital is intended to be funded from the proceeds of such revenue as well. Finally, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, in compliance with Order 76, Section 3 of the Senate Standing Order 2023, as amended, the passage of this proposed bill will not pose additional financial burden on the treasury of the federal government, as I have foresaid in the reasons adduced above. Thank you for listening.
Senator Dixon. This is going to be cited in the
Henry Sirake Dixon by Elsa West. I'll be very brief, but thank you for recognizing me. Not only is this proposed medical hospital to be sited in the Niger Delta, it's actually cited in, it's proposed to be sited in the heart of the oil and gas business in the Joland. So it's also representing our people there. And I want to begin by commending him for sponsoring this bill. And this is the right thing to do. So, Mr. President, I rise not only to second it, and also to briefly urge that we pass this bill to get through the next stage of the legislative process, because this is the right thing to do. There is need to beef up the medical, educational infrastructure in that area. So I so second. Thank you.
Colleagues, Ide Dafinone representing Delta Central. I rise to support the second reading of the bill sponsored by my friend, brother, and colleague, Senator Joel-Onowakpo Thomas, and would wish to highlight just 3 points quickly in view of the limited time available. The first is that the facility will be sited in Warri Southwest, which is an area that dominates the coastal, offshore, especially production of oil and gas in Delta South. So it is sited in an ideal area. Secondly, sir, the facility provides support for oil and gas injuries in particular, and there's no alternative nearby remedy for injuries in the oil and gas industry. So again, it is very well cited. Thirdly, and this is just for emphasis, Senator Thomas has said that the funding is coming from the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board, which means that there's no additional pressure on the funding of the federal government. I think this is ideal, sir, and I firmly support the establishment of this oil and gas hospital. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Is anybody be now ready second time? Please say aye. This again say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate.
Distinguished senators, I bill for an act to establish the Federal Oil and Gas Hospital, Benikrukru, Delta State, to provide for comprehensive medical services for workers in the oil and gas industry, as well as communities affected by oil and gas operations and exploration, and for related matters 2025, second reading.
A bill for an act to establish the Federal Oil and Gas Hospital, Benikrukru, Benikrukru, Delta State, to provide for comprehensive medical services for workers in the oil and gas industry, as well as communities affected by oil and gas operations and explorations, and for related matters, second reading, thinking. The bill is referred to the Committee on Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary to report within 4 weeks. Let me commend Senator Joel for bringing forward this bill. This bill, by its nature, is a bill that will touch on the well-being of the people of the area who are really in need of a very, very advanced medical facility to take care of their health issues. It will enhance the health welfare delivery system of the area. Of course, it is said that health is wealth. So it's something that is highly required in that area. And Senator Joel is living up to his position as a good representative of the people. And this is what everyone should do. Look at the plight of people and try to bring forward bills that will deal with their matters, that will alleviate their problems, that will help them particularly in the areas of health, education, and so on and so forth. Health is quite very important. So we commend you, and you should continue on this part of helping your people at all times. Thank you, and I commend you on behalf of the Senate, Senator Joel-Onowakpo, the leader of the Senate.